Hi everybody, it's Miss Carol, the Caring Librarian, and this week I'm going to read a fable to you. Now a fable is a story that often uses animals as its main characters to teach a moral lesson. And a moral lesson, I like to say, is a lesson for the heart. It teaches you how to behave as a good person and do the right thing, even when nobody's watching. It's really a heart lesson. So we're going to read one of my very favorite ones, Lousy, Rotten, Stinkin' Grapes by Margie Palatini. Fox eyed a bunch of tantalizing grapes growing from a vine high on a tree. "Those juicy morsels are for me," he said with a grin. The problem was, Fox was only so high, and the grapes were so high. "No matter," he said. "I am sly, clever, smart. After all, I am a fox." He made a plan. Add this to this, multiply that to that, subtract from here, carry the 2, minus the 1, and voila, grapes. Hop, skip, jump, flying leap, and no grapes. Fox climbed out from the thicket and brushed off his coat. Perhaps a bit of a boost is needed, but where to get a boost? Grunt, grunt. Fox turned, he grinned. "Why, Bear, old buddy, I say, do you like grapes?"
"Grapes," said the bear. I think I do. Yeah, I do.
"Excellent," he said. "Look and listen. Here is the plan," explained Fox. "You stand here. I will stand on your head there. On the count of 3, you get a bit of a boost, and voila, grapes." Bear looked at the plan. He looked at the grapes. He looked at the tree. He stared at his big front paws and thought,
You know there, Fox, I'm thinking maybe I could just wrap my paws around..."
Interrupted Fox. Bear, my dear dim buddy. Your job is brawn, not brain. You leave the thinking to me. After all, I am the fox. Sly, clever, smart. I know how to get the grapes. Bear shrugged.
"If you say so."
Bear stood here. Fox climbed up on and stood on top of Bear's head there. Fox counted 1, 2, 3, and no grapes. Fox brushed off his coat and straightened his nose. "Maybe a little more lift, thrust, and oomph is needed here." Bear shrugged.
"If you say so."
Now where to find oomph? Pat slap, pat slap, pat slap. Fox peered down at the pond and he grinned. "Why, Beaver, dear pal, I say, do you like grapes?" "Grapes?" said Beaver. "Oh, yes, indeedy, I do." "Excellent. Look and listen. Here is the plan. Bear stands here, you stand on Bear's head there, I stand on your tail. On the count of 3, Bear gives a boost as you give an oomph, which brings me there, and voila, grapes." Beaver looked at the plan. He looked at the grapes. He looked at the tree. He tapped his front tooth and thought, "Fox, I was thinking if I just started chewing on that tree..." Interrupted Fox. Beaver, my dentally challenged chum. You just mind the oomphing. Leave all that thinking to me. After all, I'm the fox. Sly, clever, smart. I know how to get the grapes. Beaver shrugged. "Do you say so?" Beaver stood here. Bear stood there on Bear's head. Fox stood on Beaver's tail. 1, 2, 3, and no grapes. Fox climbed out of the brambles. "Just need an inch or 2 more scooch." Fox measured this. He weighed that. He turned around and grinned. "Why, Porcupine, you short scooch of a fellow, do you like grapes?"
"Grapes," said the porcupine. "I suppose I do enjoy a grape or 2 now and then."
"Excellent," he said. "Look and listen. Here is the plan," explained Fox. Bear stands here, Beaver stands there, you stand on Beaver's tail, I stand on you, and on the count of 3, Bear boosts as Beaver oomphs while you scooch, which brings me there, and voila, grapes. Porcupine looked at the plan. He looked up at the grapes. He looked at his back full of quills.
Excuse me, Fox, but I have a suggestion. Perhaps if I just point my quills...
Interrupted Fox. Porcupine, my little friend, let us not get all prickly. You just be a scooch and leave the ideas to me. After all, I am the fox. Sly, clever, smart. I know how to get the grapes. Porcupine shrugged.
If you say so.
Bear stood here. Beaver stood on Bear's head there. Porcupine stood on Beaver's tail. Fox stood very carefully on Porcupine's back. 1, 2, 3, and... no grapes. Fox rubbed his feet. He pulled a bramble from his tail. He uncurled his whiskers. What might be helpful is a wee catch and swing. Yes, yes, catch and swing should definitely do it. Beaver looked at Bear, who looked at Porcupine. The three shrugged. If you say so. Fox spied two tiny eyes peeking through the bush. Aha! Possum, my dear friend. Do you like grapes? Me? Whispered Possum shyly. Why, yes, I do like grapes. Thank you for asking. I like grapes very much. Fox grinned. Excellent, he said. Look and listen. Here is the plan. Bear stands here. Beaver stands on Bear's head there. Porcupine stands on Beaver's tail. I stand on Porcupine. You stand on me. So on and so on and so on, etc., etc., etc. Which lifts you, whose tail curls around here, then swings back to me, who I grab, ending up there, and voila! Grapes. Possum stared at the grapes. She stared at the branch. She stared at the plan. Pardon me, said Possum, but it all seems so confusing and complicated. Perhaps if I... interrupted Fox. Possum, 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 my pet. Now don't worry those few little hairs on your extremely unattractive little head. Nothing to fret and faint dead away over. Trust me, my dear. After all, I am the fox. I am the one here who is sly, clever, and smart. I know how to get the grapes. Possum blinked. If you say so. Beaver stood here. Bear stood there. Porcupine stood on Beaver's tail. Fox stood carefully on Porcupine. And Possum stood on Fox, ready to swing into action. 1, 2, 3, and boost! Oomph! Scooch! Swing! No grapes. What you doing? Asked the skunk. Ugh! Blessed bunch of fruit! Groused the fox, crawling out from under. There is simply no possible way to get those